tapering for your marathon. Seems like quite a difficult thing to do because some people think that they're going to lose fitness in this time and they want to try and gain a bit of fitness. In this video I'm going to be going over some basic tips and tricks to be able to taper effectively for your marathon. So if you guys have been following along with my journey for a bit, you'll probably realise over the past couple of months I've been actually training for a marathon myself. I'm aiming for the 4-hour mark and I've hit this point of my training where I've gone into the tapering stage, which is to make my body feel as fresh as it possibly can, so when I get to my race day I'm feeling nice and strong and give it my best shot. So I thought it was just sort of a good time to go over some basic tips for how you can get the best time possible as well. So 3 weeks out from your marathon, you are going to drop your weekly miles to 85 to 90% of your maximum weekly mileage. So if your weekly total maximum mileage was 50 miles, you're going to drop that by about 15%. So that's about 7 miles off of that. So that is 43 miles, I believe. And then obviously, depending on your miles, that is how you're going to work out what you're going to do. This is 3 weeks out. For tip number 2, you want to keep the intensity the same. Now this is key because obviously you're still trying to build a bit of leg strength at this point. You do not want to let your cardio drop because obviously in 3 weeks your cardio can drop a bit. You want to keep that nice and high, keep your VO2 high, keep your leg strength high. So you don't really want to drop down the intensity as much. You drop down the miles, but the intensity you keep the same. And you don't need to go into full easy miles. You can still put in your interval sessions, your fartlek sessions as and when you need to. You don't really need to cut that out just at this point. And finally, you need to reduce your long run by about 10 to 20%. Now, what this is doing is it's just letting those legs freshen up a bit. So obviously, because you've been doing a lot of long runs, you'll probably be running up to about 30, maybe 29 to 35k is probably the max that you'll be really running at this point. And you want to drop that down. It's not just for your legs, but it's for your mind as well, to give it a bit of a rest from constantly running those high miles all the time. And it's really just to get your mind in the game and get it ready for running strong on that race day. Because obviously if you had the couple of weeks off like that, it's really going to be allowed to let your mind relax. So then when you go onto that race day, you're going to feel nice and fresh as possible. Now 2 weeks out from your marathon, you'll want to be dropping your weekly miles to 70-75% of your maximum mileage. Now this obviously is exactly the same as the last time. You can work that out in a calculator. I'm not very good at maths, so you can't really hold me to this, but that is what you're going to really need to be doing here. So if you were doing, I've got it written here, so if you were doing a 50-mile week, you need to drop it down to 35 to 38 miles. So as you can see, those miles are really starting to come down quite a bit, and this is just letting those legs freshen up a little bit more, because obviously you drop down the miles 3 weeks to go, they start to freshen up a little bit, but not too much. You can still feel some fatigue in your legs, but not quite as much. 2 weeks in, you're dropping a little bit down. Okay, yep, you're starting to feel quite fresh now. You're feeling good when you're going out on those runs, and you can click over these sessions, and you're feeling really good at this point. And obviously, as you go further on, you're going to be decreasing that even more, but we'll talk about that later on in the video. At this point in your training, you only want to be doing medium training sessions. So that is not going out onto your intervals and giving it a flat out effort every single time, because at this point, you're not going to gain any fitness. You are not going to gain any fitness whatsoever in 2 weeks. And it's really vital that you just sort of keep that cardio going, because you're not going to gain any fitness, but you just want to maintain it. So if you go out for a session, not going out at your faster than 5k effort, but maybe half marathon effort, or even just your marathon pace, is really going to assist you in being able to just keep those legs ticking over nicely and keep that cardio nice and high, the legs nice and strong. And also, it just, it's a confidence builder thing, because if you're going out on intervals and you're feeling strong, you don't want to feel absolutely battered by the end, because then obviously you're going to think, am I ready? Am I not? Is this right at this point? You want to limit that doubt as much as possible when you're going out on these runs. And by doing those medium sessions, you're going to be feeling reasonably good. It's going to feel tough, but obviously as a runner, feeling tough can sometimes feel good as well. So it's a really good confidence builder at the same time. Until the end of time. I am now closing in on myself, and that is 1 week out from your race. At this point, you want to really significantly drop those miles. If you're running 50 miles on that final week, you really want to be dropping those miles maybe down to about 15 or 20. Really, just because you don't need any fitness gaining, or you can't lose fitness in a week, let's face it, and you can't gain it either. So what's the point in putting in extra miles when you don't need to train at this point? This is just keeping those legs ticking over, because it's only going to be like 6 days worth of running. If that, and you're not going to be doing much in that amount of time, and you want to be having a rest before race day, so that's 5 days, and you want to have at least 2 other rest days, that's 3 days, and then it soon comes down, and you just want about 1 or 2 runs in on that week before you actually go out onto your race. Maybe put in one mini speed session, and this is going to be at your marathon pace, so maybe 10 minutes easy, 10k marathon, 10k, what am I on about? 10 minutes easy, 10 minutes marathon pace, 10 minutes easy, and that will do for the run. Just to keep those legs and get it used to running at the marathon pace, because obviously we want to be introducing that as much as possible in this point of your training. On the day of your race, it's really up to, on the day before your race, it's really up to you if you want to run or not. Personally, I wouldn't, because I want to risk getting injured. Some people may want to, because running, it can help with your nerves as well. So for some people out there, it may be quite helpful to get out onto those runs. It won't be long. Maybe 20 or 30 minutes, really easy effort. Because obviously most of you guys, if you've got to this point of your training, you've been doing a lot of zone 2 heart rate training or easy running. At this point, if you're doing it on your heart rate, you really want to be staying in around between zone 1 and 2. You don't want to be peaking over that zone 2, because it's just keeping those legs ticking over, because what's the point? It's just keep feeling fresh, mindful miles, listen to a podcast or something. Try not to think about race day too much, because then you can start to stress yourself out a lot. But yeah, really just try and it's just to keep those legs ticking over to help with the nerves or whatever your thing is at all. I really hope that video was useful for you guys out there today. So if you've reached this point in the video, thank you so much. It really means a lot of me to support this channel. If you haven't already, go check out the back catalogue so you can see other videos. I'm doing like things like this pretty much every single week. So there's plenty of videos for you to check out. Please hit that like button down below and subscribe as well, because then you get notified when I'm uploading more of videos quite similar to this. All about running, helping you guys and beginner runners, advanced runners, no matter what you are, everyone can take a piece out of this, and I also try and share a bit of my running journey as well. So it's just a bit of a hole-in-one here, so it's definitely worth subscribing and turning on that notification bell. Also leave a comment down below. Let me know, have you ever run a marathon before? What do you do for tapering? Do you think you should be doing any speed sessions in your tapering final weeks? Yeah, just let me know in the comments and we can get into a chat about it. I'm really interested to know your thoughts and feelings on it. So thank you very much everyone, and I'll see you next time.